Okay, we're looking at transition now. For me, transition is the most important part of the golf swing. It's the difference between swinging over the top or from out to in, as we call it as well. Also hitting the ball fat and thin. So it's really coming from the same fault in the golf swing. And what it is with a lot of amateur golfers is the pelvis, which is attached to your hips here and here. So your pelvis is this centerpiece here. It doesn't shift forward enough before you start down. So for example, when you set up to the ball, your pelvis is nice and centered. So you can see this figure here is at 0. On the right here, we got Tony Finau. He's in the same position, starting with the pelvis centered and at 0. So if you look at Tony when he swings back, you're going to see a very small shift off the ball. Gets to about 0.8 of an inch, and that's just on the first, foot and a half of the takeaway. And then he starts to move back to the center. So you can see how that figure's going down back to 0. So before he gets to the top of his backswing, he's already back to the center. And he's moving forward at this point now. So you can see him moving forward 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 of an inch. That's before the hands and arms have even started down. So this is really the key thing that you got to look at. If you're going to strike the ball well, if you're going to compress the ball better, if you're going to stop fatting and thinning it and coming over the top, you've got to make sure your pelvis is shifting back towards the center before you start down, and then it's going to keep moving forward. So you can see as that figure there is increasing, it's 0.5 of an inch. So it's 0.5 of an inch further forward than he was at the start of his swing, and it keeps pushing forward as he pulls the handle of the club downward. So he's pulling the handle down towards the ground as he's pushing his pelvis forward. And that's how you get the low point in front of the golf ball, getting your divot after the ball is going to come down from, shifting your starting point, the center of your pelvis, shifting it forward before you start down, and then keep moving it forward. That's how he's able to take that divot just in front of the golf ball there. So that's what you can see the tour player doing there. And then if we come over to the left here, looking at the amateur golfer. So you just watch as he swings back. Tony moved off probably 0.7 of an inch, maybe 0.8. And then if we see this amateur here, just keep an eye on that figure there. Let's see how he gets on as he goes back. So there, 0.8, 1. And he just keeps going. So that's a big shift off the ball, 3.2 inches. And he's not even started down yet. So remember, Tony, when he started down, was already, in front of where he started. It shifted back slightly forward. So you can see this guy here starting down, and he's still way behind the ball as he's starting down. It's only when he gets to about here, halfway down, he's actually got back to the center. But what you're going to see from this point onwards is he really loses all of his lag. You can see the angle between the left arm and the shaft straightening out there, so he's losing all of his lag coming into the ball. Real big scoop as he's coming through as well. So really the transition is the key move. Okay, you see a lot of different swings out there. When you look on tour, they all look very different. But when you look closely, especially with this gear system, I can see that every single tour player, when the transition has shifted slightly further forward of where they started. So basically, just an exaggeration, but when they're swinging sort of into the backswing, the hips are not only turning, or the right hip's not only turning, pulling back, it's actually moving towards the target. It's this sort of move as opposed to that move. So you've got to really pull that right hip back, feel it shift towards the target, that movement. So I'm feeling my weight firmly on my left side before I pull the golf club down. That's what you want to do. Get that weight shifting to your left, and then feel as though you pull the club down. Okay, get the hands coming down first before the shoulders. If the shoulders come first, you're going to be over the top. So you've got to feel the hands pull down first, to sync up with the body, then you can turn through. So that's your transition. You know, like I said before, get a video app. You want to look at that and see if you are too far behind the ball when you transition, and if you can improve on that, you'll strike the ball so much better. Thanks for watching.
I just caught the GForce Trainer 8. It's like the orange whip, only well made. You could hit shots with it, watch the ball fly. $100 said the first 20 go right. It'll train your rhythm, get your game back to where it used to be, and maybe where you never knew. Pick it up, give it a rip. You need another toy, not another tip.